Block 1. Unveiling Project Nightingale. Hello and welcome to the channel. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a story that feels ripped from the pages of a dystopian novel, yet whispers of its existence are growing too loud to ignore. We're talking about Project Nightingale. Forget about instant replays or fancier stadium scoreboards. This is a technological leap of a completely different magnitude. Imagine this: you're at a crucial game. The tension is electric. Your team is down by 1 point with seconds on the clock. The entire stadium holds its breath, and then an explosion of sound, a unified roar of triumph, or a collective groan of despair that feels almost primal, almost perfectly synchronized. What if I told you that this powerful shared emotional experience wasn't entirely organic? What if it was being conducted? Project Nightingale is the code name for an alleged covert sound technology system, one that's rumored to be secretly tested and deployed in major sports arenas around the globe. The core claim is audacious and terrifying in equal measure, that it can subtly influence and guide the emotional responses of tens of thousands of people at once. We're not talking about simply playing "We Will Rock You" to get the crowd hyped. We're talking about a system so sophisticated it operates on the very edge of human perception. It's a technology that could turn a crowd of individuals into an orchestra of controlled responses, with a hidden conductor pulling the strings of their excitement, their anger, and their unity. The goal? To craft the perfect fan experience, to maximize engagement, and perhaps to ensure the crowd's energy always flows in the desired direction. The first hints of Project Nightingale supposedly emerged from a series of fragmented anonymous posts on a high-security engineering forum. A user claiming to be a disgruntled audio engineer described working on a behavioral acoustic system for a private defense contractor. This system, codenamed Nightingale, was initially designed for crowd control applications, but was later rebranded and marketed to major sports leagues and entertainment conglomerates as an atmosphere enhancement suite. The posts described a network of specialized, low-frequency emitters hidden within the existing PA systems and structural elements of a stadium. These emitters wouldn't play music. They would generate complex, layered soundscapes, most of which would be completely inaudible to the conscious mind. Think of it like a dog whistle for human emotion. You don't hear it, but a part of your brain, the primal, instinctual part, most certainly does. Let's paint a more detailed picture. Imagine you're at a game. A controversial call is made against the home team. Normally, this would be met with a chaotic cacophony of boos and angry shouts. But with Project Nightingale active, a specific subliminal frequency pattern could be deployed. This pattern, according to the leaks, is designed to subtly promote feelings of collective grievance but discourage outright aggression. It might steer the crowd's frustration into a unified, powerful, but ultimately non-violent chant, making for great television without risking a riot. Conversely, when the home team scores, the system could amplify the wave of euphoria. It might use specific resonant frequencies to heighten the physical sensations of excitement, the tingling spine, the raised hairs on your arms, making the moment feel even more transcendent. This is the concept of manufactured emotional contagion, where a feeling is not just caught, but actively broadcast and intensified. The implications are staggering. Are fans at these venues experiencing genuine passion or a technologically sweetened version of it? If a crowd's enthusiasm can be turned up, can it also be turned down? Could this technology be used to quell dissent, to mute protests against a team's owner, or to subtly discourage fans from leaving their seats during a lull in the action, perhaps keeping them captive for the next wave of advertising? The line between enhancing an experience and manipulating an audience becomes dangerously blurred. We are no longer just spectators. We become participants in a carefully curated psychological performance. The roar of the crowd, long considered the purest expression of sporting passion, might just be the sound of a program running as intended. The question isn't just whether this technology exists, but if it does, have you already been a part of its audience?
Block 2. The Science of Sonic Control. So, the claims surrounding Project Nightingale are chilling, but are they scientifically plausible? Could sound truly be used as such a precise tool for mass psychological influence? The answer, unsettlingly, lies in a very real and well-established field of science, psychoacoustics. This is the study of the psychological and physiological effects of sound, or more simply, how our brains interpret what our ears hear. It's a science that advertisers and filmmakers have been using for decades. The reason a bag of chips sounds so satisfyingly crunchy in a commercial, or why the soundtrack in a horror movie can make your skin crawl even when nothing is happening on screen, is all down to the clever application of psychoacoustics. It's about understanding that hearing is not just a mechanical process, it's a perceptual and emotional one. Project Nightingale, if it exists, would take this principle to an extreme level, weaponizing the quirks of our auditory processing. One of the key tools allegedly at its disposal is infrasound. Infrasound refers to sound waves with a frequency below the lower limit of human audibility, typically considered to be around 20 Hz. You cannot hear these sounds in the traditional sense, but you can absolutely feel them. Your body, your organs, and even your bones can resonate with these low-frequency vibrations. For decades, researchers have explored the strange effects of infrasound on the human psyche. The most famous example is the so-called fear frequency, believed to be around 19 Hz. This frequency is very close to the resonant frequency of the human eyeball, and exposure can cause the eyeballs to vibrate subtly, leading to distorted vision, a sense of unease, and even the perception of ghostly figures in one's peripheral vision. It's no wonder it's linked to feelings of anxiety, sorrow, and dread. Now, imagine a stadium filled with thousands of these hidden emitters. They aren't just blasting a single fear frequency. Instead, they are weaving an incredibly complex subliminal auditory cues. Think of it like a symphony of silence. By layering specific infrasonic frequencies and creating subtly oscillating patterns, a system like Project Nightingale could theoretically create a range of emotional undercurrents. For example, a slow, deep 15 Hz pulse might create a baseline of tension and anticipation during a quiet moment in the game. When a big play happens, a rapid shift to a different, more stimulating frequency pattern could trigger a more potent release of adrenaline in the crowd, making their cheers feel more explosive and euphoric. It's an invisible hand guiding the emotional tide of 70,000 people. It's not mind control in the sci-fi sense of inserting thoughts, but it is profound mood and energy control, operating beneath the threshold of conscious awareness. This, of course, hurls us head first into a profound ethical minefield. On one side, you have the potential proponents, the team owners, the league commissioners, the marketing executives. They would argue this is merely atmosphere engineering. They would say it's no different from using giant screens, pyrotechnics, or perfectly timed music to make the fan experience more exciting and memorable. They might even argue it's a tool for safety, capable of de-escalating potential violence and ensuring a family-friendly environment. From their perspective, it's about giving the customer the most thrilling and positive experience possible, a worthy goal for any entertainment business. But on the other side of this debate, the arguments are far more sobering. Ethicists and civil liberties advocates would label this as mass, non-consensual psychological manipulation. The core of their argument rests on the principle of informed consent. When you buy a ticket to a game, you consent to watch the sport, to hear the PA system, to see the ads. You do not consent to have your emotional state covertly managed by subliminal auditory cues. This technology strips away a layer of our autonomy, our right to a genuine, unadulterated emotional reaction. If our joy can be amplified and our anger pacified, are we truly free? The very essence of being a sports fan is the raw, unpredictable, and authentic passion. Project Nightingale threatens to replace that beautiful, chaotic reality with a synthetic, perfectly polished, and ultimately hollow facsimile. The final terrifying thought is this: if this technology can be perfected in a sports arena, where else could it be deployed? Political rallies? Public squares? Shopping malls? The line between a shared experience and a controlled one may be a frequency we can't even hear. What do you think about Project Nightingale? Is this a terrifying tool for manipulation or the inevitable future of live entertainment? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives, and we'll see you in the next one.